Hey again. So we all know by now that episode 100 is... Right, sorry, forgot the spoiler alert. I mean, it's nothing that 90% of the fandom doesn't already know, I'll bet, but I figured I'd stick this warning here anyway for those of you that are seriously in the dark. Anyway, what I was about to say is that we all know by now that episode 100 will feature some of the fandom's favorite background ponies. Since this episode would likely not have been written if it weren't for the fans obsessing over these minor characters, I figure what better way to celebrate episode 100 than by acknowledging the other achievements of this fandom. They are in no particular order and have no particular theme. These are just 5 interesting things that I encourage you to check out if you haven't already, and each choice features an additional thing to check out if you have already seen the first suggestion or if you want to see something similar. Regardless of whether or not you've seen these, I still recommend you watch each of them before seeing episode 100. You know, as a kind of celebration or reminder of the fandom that brought us most of what we'll see in the 100th episode. So without further ado, here are some amazing MLP-related works made by bronies. Some of these I might review later. Are We There Yet is a great song by Black Gryphon and Basic. It's based off of the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and if I had to take any song in the history of Forever to be a perfect theme song for them, this would be it. It's fun, it's meaningful, it's definitely a must-listen. I also highly recommend the typography animation for it made by Izir PMVs, because that's another beautiful piece of work. Speaking of a good music video and character theme songs, Giggles and Gumdrops by Forever Free Brony is the song to describe Pinkie Pie, and the PMV that was created for it by Greyfur is very well done. The song is catchy and cute, and I also recommend other songs by Forever Free Brony as well, because he's a pretty good musician. Okay, so I know that sounds very broad, just saying check out this person's animations, but I'm serious when I say that this person has a very unique animation style. The drawing style is fun, and the animation itself is smooth. For those looking for something more serious, slightly, check out Once Upon a Time in Canterlot and Guardian. And if you like comedy, look at Iron Will's Swim Seminar, or maybe some general weirdness like Friendship is Manly, which is a weird but laughable piece they made. For a little more what, but some daw at the same time, check out the Do 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 song. And for a little more alrighty then, check out the simple animation The Adventures of Prince Duskshine. Dinky's Destiny's strongest point, in my opinion, is the absolutely beautiful animation. Obviously, plenty of tears, sweat, and time went into it, and it's amazing! I'd have to say that when I first went into the animation, though, I was confused as to what it all meant. Then someone told me it was actually a dream sequence, and that's when most of it suddenly made sense. I say most because naturally there are questions left unanswered since the animation was supposed to have another part to it. But nonetheless, it's still a good watch. It also features Luna, and speaking of Luna, Children of the Night is another great animation, and it's from 2013. I know most of you have probably seen or heard of it at one point or another, considering it has over 23 million views, but this is another great animation featuring Luna, and a song I remember hearing when I was younger. It's beautifully put together and one of those memorable fan creations for sure. Button's Adventures is made by Jan Animations, who has to be one of the best animators in the fandom. Jan can replicate the MLP show style so well that it's hard to tell it isn't official, and he used this talent to bring us Button's Adventures, which is a silly little video about Button Mash, a character seen once in the background. Unfortunately, one of Hasbro's lawyers sent him a C&D, or cease and desist, and he isn't in the position to make any more of them. Still, they're very memorable and definitely must-watches. This includes Don't Mine at Night, which is a parody of a parody. Literally, it's the pony version with Button Mash of the actual Don't Mine at Night, which is a parody of the song Last Friday Night. Still, I think the pony version of Don't Mine at Night is the best out of the 3, and once again, the animation will amaze you. Speaking of must-watch videos, this has been what the fandom has been freaking out about lately. The Lullaby for a Princess animation was just released recently, and it's a beautiful, poetic animation that might actually leave you in tears. Seriously, I've seen tears shed over this video. One of the best parts about the video is that the story it tells can't be proven false. In fact, it's very based on the canon. To me, I see this as an emotional and serious take on what happened in the lore, something that we know has happened, but that Hasbro couldn't necessarily show like this because of the age range MLP is directed toward. Still, we all know that this is basically how it went, and that's one thing making this so amazing. And of course, if you like emotional pieces, I also recommend the I Am Octavia animation by Tejade. It isn't as emotional as Lullaby for a Princess, but it's a good video to end with because it shows 2 of the background ponies that were taken under the wing of the fandom. You know, Octavia and Vinyl Scratch. It's actually a parody of the song I Am Titanium, but that doesn't stop the fact that it's a really nice piece of work, and I recommend you watch it specifically, or especially, if you enjoy Octavia and or Vinyl Scratch. So that pretty much wraps it up. I recommend you watch these or at least check them out, because even though the fandom isn't as glorious as it used to be, these things can still give you an idea of how artistic this fandom can be. This fandom held our favorite background ponies, which are now being brought to life. This is Nat signing off and hoping you enjoy Saturday's episode 9 of season 5, or in other words, episode 100.